Okay, people, so the aftermath of the outrage and people going ballistic over the spoilers of Dragon Ball Super Chapter 75. We got the full-on chapter. We're going to be talking about the ins and outs of everything that went down in the battle between Vegeta versus Granolah. And if you watched my spoiler video, because I know there's going to be some people coming in here and saying, yo, Fornev, you was wrong, how you feel now? Go watch that spoiler video where I say I am 100% rooting for me to be wrong and for my opinion on that to age like milk, because yeah, I was saying maybe there was more to these spoilers, maybe there was going to be more info. I was hoping for it, but from what we obtained for that video that I made, all the info that was available at the time, yes, that's where my opinion stood. But I was 100% hoping that I was wrong. I was hoping there was more, and in case you don't know, there is more to what's going on with the whole situation of Vegeta that I renamed Vegeta. We're gonna relax on Vegeta for right now, because yeah, there's more that came out with the chapter, and we're gonna talk about the ins and outs of it. Because to be honest with you, I gotta say, one of the big things that people really don't stress enough, because don't get me wrong, story is the most important thing about a chapter, hands down. However, the art and the action, ooh, I do want to commend it as well. So without further ado, people, let's talk about this battle. And ultra ego Vegeta, fam, he's here, yes. And the outrage, while at the time it was real, ultimately it was misguided. Let's do it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
So right off the bat, we cut into the battle again of Vegeta versus Granolah, and Granolah is like, whoa, what's going on? Because where we left off last month was with Vegeta going into this new transformation that none of us knew what the name was. People were mixed on it, whether they liked the design, didn't like the design, the no eyebrows, the buffness, the color of the hair, all sorts of opinions going around regarding what the heck that thing was. And even Granolah at the beginning of the chapter is confused. He's like, what does your power being unbound even mean? And it basically means that, well, if we were writing the way I would write it, it would mean that you're about to get your ass stomped out. And to be fair, throughout the chapter, Vegeta does throw a lot of hands, and Vegeta is extremely impressive. And again, when we get to the point where I'm going to talk about it, don't worry, the outrage, the insanity that the last few days have been regarding Vegeta and Dragon Ball Super as a whole, we will touch up on it, because yeah, Vegeta was kind of impressive a lot throughout this chapter. Because following that, Vegeta just starts exhaling freaking ki out of his body. It's crazy. Like, he looks like he's almost able to damn near overwhelm Granolah. And to be fair, Granolah does look like he's fearful of Vegeta throughout this chapter, like alone, where he's just exuding all this ki out of his body. Granolah's like, yo, what's going on here, fam? Am I about to get my ass whipped? And Vegeta was just talking reckless. Honestly, for a good chunk of the chapter, it felt like a father disciplining his bad son, where he's like, yo, it's time I take you down a peg. You think too highly of yourself right now. I gotta bring you down a little bit. I'm like, wow, what an ego. Hey, puns. Hey, whoa, we here. Yes, I know. And I mean, it is just countless different levels of disrespect, from him headbutting Granolah, throwing him, tossing him around like a rag doll, hitting him with that double cuff fist and all that shit. I ain't gonna lie, the action in this chapter, once again, and I've said this for multiple months now, but I'm gonna say it again, is 100% preparing for whenever the TV anime returns to adapt this shit. It is like screaming like, yo, we need really awesome action, because that's one of the things that people come to Dragon Ball for, is they want big climactic battles. And I ain't gonna lie, whenever this gets animated, regardless of the outcome, especially now that it's a little bit more nuanced after we got the last couple pages of this chapter, this is going to be huge. This is going to trend, and people are going to go crazy, especially if Toei Animation does the works for this, because I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty freaking impressive. And Toyotaro, his art game, his art for Vegeta, there's the difference right there. And I'm not trying to cut on Boruto too much or whatever, but like Toyotaro, he has Dragon Ball's look down packed, especially the anime, because Toriyama's art for the Dragon Ball manga was slightly different from the anime. Toyotaro has that look down packed, and then he's added his own little flair to it, and Vegeta just looked impressive. This is one of the best looking Vegetas in this entire Dragon Ball Super manga, where Boruto like kind of struggles with the character designs and things like that. Like Toyotaro, he has mimicked and then some Toriyama's art, but also again added his own pizzazz to it, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, Granolah wasn't a complete, biatch. Like, he tried a little bit, he knocked Vegeta in the stomach, and then Vegeta just throughout the chapter, every time Granolah does something to him, Vegeta responds with, oh yeah, that's kinda cute, lad. Because Vegeta at one point after getting hit says, the hotter his battle soul burns, the stronger he grows. I was like, yo, he just had a lot of epic one-liners throughout the chapter. And again, notice how my tone is different with this video, and it's not because backlash. A lot of people supported how I felt about those spoilers because that's what we had at the time, but like, yo, I actually really enjoyed this chapter. Yeah, opinions, they can change when more information is available and more time has passed, and yeah, more information is available, and I was just having a blast with every twist and turn of every punch that was thrown, everything. I was just kind of like, this is pretty freaking awesome. This is really dope action. Don't get me wrong, I'm always more of a story guy. I know some people like to throw in the argument. No, I'm a story guy, but I do appreciate some dope action, especially if it's from a new form. You're gonna use a new form, you're gonna put some dope action. I mean, that's what the hell the new forms are there for in Dragon Ball anyway. Well, let's see some cool shit. And Vegeta tosses him through the damn city and then drop kicks him through a freaking building, and I'm just kind of like, holy shit. At the same time, it's also a psychological thing, because remember, it was, I want to say maybe a chapter or two ago when Vegeta was fighting him, that they were talking about the destruction of this planet, because don't forget that Granolah, this is his home planet, and the whole thing is him trying to get revenge. And you'll notice, and we're going to talk about it more as I talk, throughout the events of the chapter, basically Granolah sold the soul, and little by little he is losing everything about himself as the chapter continues. For starters, it's still like Granolah's still holding on to like those ideals, because Vegeta's basically crashing him all over the planet, and I'm imagining that Vegeta's mindset behind it is, well, one, I'm gonna kick his ass and win, but also like it's probably going to be in his mind anyway, triggering Granolah that, yo, my home planet, that the whole reason I'm doing all this shit is because of this planet and revenge, yada yada yada. He's probably thinking still, oh, it's working, I'm fucking with his mind while I'm kicking his ass. And then it comes to a point where Granolah is a little confused at Vegeta getting stronger as they fight basically the Zenkai Boost. And there's something where I want to ask you guys, maybe I'm misremembering, but if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was probably during the Goku Black arc, if I'm not mistaken, either Goku Black or the Tournament of Power, and I want to say it was indeed the manga, maybe it might have been the anime, but I'm almost certain it was in the manga. Wasn't it revealed that Goku and Vegeta really were at their limit of being able to obtain Zenkai Boost, which a Zenkai Boost is basically getting your ass whipped and getting back stronger from it? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that Vegeta and Goku pretty much couldn't do that anymore. So the fact that they're kind of tossing that around throughout this whole chapter of, yeah, get my ass kicked, I'm gonna come back stronger, it makes me wonder, is that being retconned, or maybe I'm misremembering and that was an anime exclusive thing? But I'm almost certain it was in the manga that it was said they've stretched that out enough, they really can't do any more Zenkai Boosts, but yet Vegeta is Zenkai boosting throughout the whole thing. He's fighting Granolah, continuing to get stronger, which is the damn near definition of a Zenkai Boost. And I ain't gonna lie, Vegeta did make some mistakes throughout this chapter. Alone, I think the ego is the biggest thing, which again, we'll get to that in a bit. But he starts dropping knowledge to Granolah, like, yo, there's this god of destruction, he's the one that taught me about this power, god power, destruction power, he's basically dropping knowledge to Granolah that I'm kind of like, why? What is his business? Where you got this power from? You got this power from a fucking thimble. Why are you telling this motherfucker about this power? Just kick his ass and shut up. But I guess it was also, in a way, towards the tail end of that little speech that he was given, was basically to teach Granolah a lesson, because Granolah's like, oh, who granted you that power? He's like, no. He didn't grant me that power. Beerus, the god of destruction, didn't grant this to me. This is my power. I got that, which is kind of him, again, shitting on and looking down on Granolah. Like, you wish for that shit. I worked for that shit. We are not the same. I'm built different, motherfucker. Like, that ego. I know I keep on saying it, but yeah, it's an ultra ego. And then mistake number 2 that cost Vegeta immensely later on in the chapter is when Vegeta reveals to Granolah that essentially Granolah was able to bring out that inner power that Vegeta is using right now. Basically, Granolah is responsible for the power Vegeta has been utilizing as he's been fighting him, and it kind of, in my opinion, was the catalyst to that idea to Granolah of, hey, I can Zenkai Boost too. So again, Vegeta just making mistakes. Why are you giving out all this info? I hated that. That was something that I remember the Bleach manga used to really get me annoyed with, like them explaining their abilities and explaining this and that. Don't explain shit. And if anything, if the narrative wants to, you know, kind of say these things to the readers or the watchers or whatever, just have a fucking narrator say it, like how Hunter x Hunter does it. I hate when they tell that things, because again, you're just giving them ideas. And I understand that maybe with this one it's a little bit more palatable because Vegeta at the end of the day is having a massive ego trip right now where he don't give a shit, and he's probably looking at it as, he ain't nothing. I could tell him whatever. I could tell him right now what color Bulma's underwear is wearing. I'll still kill him at the end of all this. Who gives a fuck? Shout out to Bulma's underwear. Roshi knows what that looks like too. Hey, hey, hey. But Granolah can't accept that Vegeta's stronger, and he starts wilding out a little bit as well, because remember, Granolah just sacrificed damn near all of his life, minus what, 3 years that he has left, in order to obtain this power of being the strongest in the universe. So for Vegeta to start overpowering him, it's kind of like, what the fuck did I just do all of this shit for anyway? And once again, Granolah is shocked by Vegeta taking a blast from him head on. Remember, one of the things Vegeta said like a month ago was that Granolah doesn't have battle experience, so he's not understanding, why would you take this blast head on? Like, I'm understanding little by little that you're getting strong as we're fighting, but what does that have to do with you taking this blast? And that's where, you know, the idea of Zenkai Boost is starting to little by little creep through Granolah's mind through the chapter, because he just blasts at Vegeta, and Vegeta's right there like, give it to me, daddy. I thought it was kind of cool to see Granolah using that energy shield around him, reminding me of, and I'm sure it's been utilized before by other people as well, but it for some reason brought me back to like future Gohan when he had that energy shield when he fought the androids. I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool, and it was dope that he was utilizing it when Vegeta tried to chop through him. That is a stark contrast from how the fight started, where it was Vegeta on the defensive. Now at that point, Granolah's on the defensive, to having to resort to using a damn shield. And here's where the big thing that the fandom wanted a breakdown of comes into play, because Granolah's like, yo, it's not like how your buddy, how his body moves on his own, like you're not dodging shit or whatever. What's going on here? What is this power of yours? It was basically setting the foundation for Vegeta to reveal this form's name for the audience, because of course, for starters, the mandatory Vegeta shitting on Goku's, you know, whole idea, and he's like, oh no, not that pathetic transformation. My shit is all ego. In fact, you could call it Ultra Ego. I ain't gonna lie, I would be very, very fake if I was to say like, oh, I hate the name. That shit kind of sounds badass. Like Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, it makes sense for Vegeta's character. It makes sense for how Vegeta's acting right now, and it does sound kind of cool. Like it kind of flows together nicely, and I rock with it. I know in Japanese it's something that, like, the translation, it could be translated a few different ways, because it's Wagamama no Goku or something like that, but Ultra Ego, the name itself sounds dope to me. I like it. And fam, between the art and the epicness and all around going full circle of Vegeta drop kicking straight through onto Granolah's face through the barrier right after giving that speech, it adds to the whole thing. Like, yo, he's just doing drop kicks like he's a wrestler now. Like, what is going on here? His ego really, like, yo, play that Kanye song. What is it called? I got a big ego or some shit. Play that shit right now. That's Vegeta's anthem. In fact, when the Dragon Ball Super anime returns, that better come on as he's fighting Granolah, okay? Imagine that's like the standard ending theme song for Vegeta or some shit. That would be fire. Then incoming Monaito, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name of the Namekian that is cool with Granolah, because he sees that the battle is going on and he's wondering like, oh shit, who is Granolah fighting? Is that Frieza? I'm gonna call it right here. Prediction time for the Monaito thing. I think that the Heaters or somebody around there, possibly the Heaters though, is going to, or even maybe Vegeta accidentally, but somebody's going to kill Monaito within the next chapter. So I'm gonna guess the next chapter, Monaito is going to get killed. Again, I would probably see it more as the Heaters, and that will switch the narrative and Granolah's focus on, instead of, because already the breadcrumbs were laid and the foundation was laid for Granolah to start switching over from being straight up on this whole, oh, I gotta kill the Saiyans, like, because he's starting to open his eyes. But then if Monaito was to get killed by one of the Heaters and Goku and Vegeta were to be like, yo, what the fuck, and be on his side about it and not be heartless about it, that would definitely make Granolah look even more at himself in the mirror and say, ooh, I done fucked up, because he does care about Monaito to a certain degree. Now that I think about it, maybe, who knows, he might not really care at that point, because as the chapter continues, he has shred a lot of who he is and what has got him to this point away. Like, honestly, you know, he wished on the Dragon Balls however many chapters ago to get this power, but he really sold his soul to the devil. I'm curious if there's something more about those Dragon Balls. Maybe they're from a devil dragon or something like that, because it feels like he sold his soul. And I mean, again, because Vegeta starts breaking it down to him of like, yo, the Saiyans, our homeland was destroyed by Frieza as well. Like, our whole tribe went extinct minus me and this clown over here and our kids. Like, yeah, our shit went down in flames also. And I mean, at that point, you got to think, well, what do you do, right? If you're Granolah, you did all of this. You sacrificed most of your life minus 3 years to obtain this power. You've attacked these people. You're going to a life or death battle against them. Ideally, yeah, you would like for, okay, I need to get over this. He's giving me the real information. But at the same time, you're kind of at that point married to the idea that, no, they gotta die. I need my revenge. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because when Granolah hears this, you can see in his face, he's kind of like, yo, is that true? He's shocked. He can't even believe it. But then he just keeps on kicking into that automated, no, fuck you. I don't care. Even if that's the truth, I need my revenge. I got nothing to do with shit. And when he punched Vegeta in the face, I was like, ooh, oh, baby, yo, you getting a little bit brave there. And when Vegeta was like, I want to clarify something. I didn't tell you that for any type of pity. Don't get it twisted. Again, I got a big ego. And then proceeds to fling him away yet again. Like, I'll say this. Granolah definitely deserves a medal for the most flung away and tossed around villain in Dragon Ball Super. Like, this dude has been tossed around a lot. Well, minus maybe some people in the Tournament of Power, but they weren't necessarily like big grandiose villains. But yeah, Granolah's been tossed the fuck around by Vegeta like a ragdoll throughout damn near majority of this fight. And here's where incoming a lot of the things I was talking about regarding selling his soul comes into play, because then Oatmeal starts saying like, yo, you know, maybe there's something there. They told us, you know, they might not be the bad guys. Essentially, Oatmeal's trying to tell Granolah, to a point where Granolah's like, you know what? He rips off Oatmeal and says, I'm the strongest now. I don't need your support anymore. Again, he's abandoning everything that he had. You know, he had a few things. He had this old man, Monaito. He had this, you know, eye patch thingy that he spoke to named Oatmeal. He had still the remnants of his planet. And little by little, well, he told quite a few chapters ago, Monaito, sit your old ass down there. I'm going to do some shit, right? Now he ripped off Oatmeal, threw him down and said, I don't need you. I got my strength. I'm going to do this. Don't worry about it. I am into my vengeance right now. Then following that, Granolah's like, you're not the only one that gets stronger as we're fighting, because again, Vegeta giving information about certain things. We'll talk about that in a second. But Granolah starts ripping apart a freaking building, destroying the homeland, which also goes into, again, he sold his soul. He's losing everything. Monaito, he told him to sit down. He ripped off Oatmeal, said, I got the strength. And now he's not even caring about the destruction of his homeland that Vegeta was just using a chapter or two ago to manipulate his mind, because he knows that he cares about it. He's not even caring about that anymore. So if you're not even caring about the foundation of what you had and who you are, he's just lost in vengeance. I guess that's probably one of the messages, as, you know, standard as it may be, of this arc, is that vengeance is never going to get you nowhere, especially if you live for that. You're thriving off of trying to get revenge. You're going to lose yourself in the process. But I ain't gonna lie, Vegeta's character design looked even cooler after all the rubble from the, you know, building was hitting him and it ripped off his armor. It reminded me of Vegeta during, what was it, the Buu saga, where his armor came off and shit like that, except he's more brolic looking. And again, the character design of the ultra ego transformation and stuff, like, I don't know, I really rock with Vegeta. This is the cleanest Vegeta has looked, dare I say it, in all of Dragon Ball Super. Like, hands down, he just looks really fucking awesome art-wise. Definitely a setup that I'm not quite sure for what, whether it be maybe to pick up Monaito or what's going on there, when Oatmeal is like, damn it, Granolah, really, you did this to me? And he calls for the spaceship to pick him up. The spaceship comes and grabs Oatmeal into the ship and they go away. Like, I don't know if that's just to show that, okay, Oatmeal's completely done with Granolah, he's never going to talk to him again, or he went to go get Monaito. But yeah, definitely it's a setup for something, either again to completely remove Oatmeal from the situation that Granolah lost him for good, or for, again, whatever may happen to Monaito. Other than that, I don't know what he would really do if he's, you know, fleeing the scene, unless he was getting in the spaceship to head once more to Granolah, which I don't think that was the case. But then, probably one of my favorite parts of the chapter in terms of combat was Vegeta throwing hands with Granolah. They're just going blow for blow at that point. They both are having Zenkai Boost. Vegeta's using this whole fucking fight pretty much as one big Zenkai Boost, and it just looked really fucking cool. Like, Vegeta looked really awesome, especially when he started screaming and powering up. I was like, Toyotaro, he knows his Dragon Ball art. He knows how to draw this shit. But you start seeing tales and foreshadowings of Vegeta's coming to his limit, where he dodges that attack, despite the fact that just a few pages ago, he was talking shit about Goku dodging, and he was saying about his ego and shit like that. For you to dodge when you was taking all these blasts head on, you know something's up. You know Vegeta's coming to the point where I can't take much more of this. Also, keep in mind, though, we do have one Senzu Bean left. So whether Goku's going to use it, Vegeta's going to use it. I know that we've seen Goku using his ki to heal himself earlier, so it's probably not going to be Goku. It would be awesome if Vegeta used it, but then at the same time, ego, will that allow him to, like, you know what I'm saying? He got an ego right now. Is his ego going to let him take that Senzu Bean that's going to heal him back up? Essentially a cheat code to keep on fighting? And speaking of Goku, like, since when? Maybe I'm off on that. I can't really remember many instances of Goku using his own ki to heal himself like that. Like, again, where was that from? I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off on that one. If I am, my bad. But I don't really remember Z fighters really using their own ki as like healers, like Goku fused with Dende or some shit. No? That kind of just threw me off for a second. He's like, oh man, come on, body heal. And he's putting ki on the point where Granolah hit him. I'm like, since when? But Vegeta, like I said, is coming to his limit because his vision starts to get blurry in this battle, and he knows, okay, I've taken too much damage at this point. His obsession with the Zenkai Boost of, getting hit to power up brought him to this point of he needs to finish this shit now. So he goes off on a crazy idea of basically even almost becoming the monster that he doesn't like, same like Granolah, where he just creates this giant destruction ball similar to how Frieza took out. Now that I think about it, wow, they're almost both becoming the same monster that they both hate, because Granolah, he's abandoning everything and becoming more heartless as this fight goes on, and then Vegeta, out of desperation and this ego and shit like that, is creating a destruction ball, the same type of ball that took out Planet Vegeta, and he's like, anything that this touches is going to obliterate, which again, it's wild shit. Like, Beerus, you probably taught the wrong one this god of destruction power. However, Granolah got one more trick up his sleeve, and again, I think this is due to the whole Zenkai Boost of him getting stronger at the same time during the battle, because he snipes the damn destruction ball. His other eye turns red, which I wonder, is that again a result of him powering up, or was it because he took off oatmeal and he was able to do it? You gotta imagine he's probably going to be coming to his limit as well if he's using powers that we've never even seen him use, like, double red eye, using double shots of snipers and shit to make that destruction ball explode. I was like, yeah, if Vegeta's gonna be tired, Granolah, you know what I'm saying, he ain't that much stronger than Vegeta. They've been damn near equal throughout this fight. He's probably got to be exhausted at the same time. Not to mention, in my opinion, he's got his ass a little bit more kicked up until that destruction explosion anyway than Vegeta did. But Vegeta's down on the ground, and Granolah walks up to him and thanks him for this power, because it was thanks to him telling him about, hey, you brought out my inner power. Like, that was big mistakes. Vegeta made mistakes that kind of cost him. Like, honestly, it kind of gave a lot of an advantage to Granolah to know these things. Like, oh, I'm capable, because again, Granolah didn't have any battle experience like that. He's never been in big climactic battles like Vegeta and Goku have. So Vegeta giving him that info helped a lot. But here is where everything changes. Here is where what I spoke about early in this video about the outrage was misguided. We were kind of wrong. I'm grateful, and I said I would be grateful if I was wrong, of the fact that fight ain't over. Fight ain't over, baby, because Oil and Maki are speaking about this whole battle, and they're, of course, happy about, hey, they're tearing each other down. But one of the things that is said is that, oh, no, the fight ain't over yet. The fight is still underway. So that right there gave me a major sigh of relief, because Vegeta was just down on the floor bloody. The spoiler that we saw, a day or two ago, he was down, damn near out. And to hear that Vegeta is not quite done yet, the fight is still going to go, that gives me a major sigh of relief that is not completely Vegeta going into Legeta, aka taking an L. He might still have some fight left in him. Thank freaking goodness, because I was so disgusted. I was so like, why? Why give him a new form to just do this? Ultra ego, ultra loser. Like, thank goodness that that's not the case. And the chapter ends with the Heaters, with a Dragon Radar searching for the Dragon Balls, which again, I'm calling it that they're going to be a bigger threat than Granolah at all was during this battle against Goku and Vegeta, because if they get the Dragon Balls, maybe they might make the same wish, because Granolah told them about his wish that he made to get that power to begin with. They might make the same wish, if not more, and maybe, who knows, that wish will force them to all fuse into one or something. I don't know why I'm seeing all of the Heaters fusing into maybe Heat Stroke or some shit. That'd be kind of crazy. crazy. But yeah, overall, this chapter, it's a hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to be with those spoilers. I'll tell you that much. I love the art. I love Vegeta's ego, but Vegeta did make some mistakes that I'm like, I think it's because of the ego, because of that form, because of the God of Destruction powers he's obtained that kind of clouded his judgment. Something that Whis has been teaching him, or trying to teach him, like, be a little more like Goku. Goku be a little bit more like Vegeta. Vegeta be a little bit more like Goku. And they still got a ways to go. This just shows that we are far away from whatever endpoint Dragon Ball Super will put regarding, again, the goals that Goku and Vegeta have. Not to mention the fact that, you know, Toyotaro just came out and said that Goku hasn't surpassed Beerus, Whis, the Grand Priest, even Broly. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think. How did you feel about that battle? Are you happy as hell to hear that the fight is still underway between Vegeta and Granolah? Your expectations regarding the heaters and what they're going to make their wish for with the Dragon Balls once they obtain them, and your overall thoughts and expectations for the Dragon Ball Super manga with Dragon Ball Super Chapter 76 and beyond. Vegeta Ultra Ego, yay or nay? But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.
And remember the golden rule.
Anime and manga
For life, boy.
have an awesome day. Peace in, and by golly, I don't know what they're gonna do at this point with Vegeta versus Granolah if the fight is still going, but hopefully it's not an embarrassment. Hopefully they come up with something creative where everybody will be satisfied, especially Vegeta fans. Have an awesome one.
You are